wisdom in the area of public speaking and leadership, the mentee is also providing curiosity to the mentor, questions that would take the mentor back to his drawing board, back to his books, back to his research attitude. So this keeps the mentor relevant. So the mentor is up to date. The mentor grows, and the mentor is appreciative of what or how the mentee has evolved. So you see that the relationship is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street. The mentor-mentee relationship is the most efficient and productive form of learning. The reason being, it's not just learning by taking in content. It is learning through participation and doing. I recall vividly my very first mentor in Toastmasters, Toastmaster Chidi. I recall how I prepared my very first draft, and he told me that I needed to work on it again. Helped me to organize my speech, helped me to identify where to use the right kind of metaphors, the right kind of figures of speech. As I finished writing that speech, I recorded it and I sent it to him. After listening to that speech, he sent it back to me and said to me areas where I needed to pause, areas where I needed to add some more vocal variety. So you see, the relationship was not just me reading a book about public speaking, but me participating in crafting my speech and growing thereby. So the right mentor knows where to focus your attention, and it will help to challenge you to exceed your goals and objectives. Now, this is very critical because you see, as a mentee, sometimes you might set the bar low, but your mentor will help you stretch it. For example, maybe you have education goals to be a DTM in 2 years or 3 years. But your mentor can stretch you and say that we can do this in 2 years as against doing it in 3 years. That's a stretch goal. That if you were left to yourself to set that goal, you might not be able to set that kind of ambitious goal. But remember that the relationship is not a dictatorship. The mentor still needs to have your buy-in to be able to set that goal, but it can help you set achievable or what we call SMART goals. Now, for sake of participation, I'd like for you to share with me in the chat room what kind of qualities you think an ideal mentor should have, or what you will call your ideal mentor. Just type it in the chat and say the qualities that you think a mentor should have, or your ideal mentor. You could even reflect back to your first mentor. What were the things that drew you to your mentor? What were the qualities that drew you to your mentor? Please, I'd like for everybody to participate. Just send it in the chat room now, what you think your ideal mentor should be. Should he be a listener? Just go on and just type it out in the chat. I'm going to be looking at it, and then we'll have a conversation around this particular thought. Okay. A great listener, an observer. A mentor should be smart, understanding, fast, easygoing, available, approachable. Listening to hear what is not said. Open-mindedness. Humility, friendliness, a good listener, a patient personality, okay? An ideal mentor should be patient and calm at all times. We have about 28 participants, and I really would like for us to have a good number here, maybe 50% of individuals sending what they think the ideal mentor should be: cordial, encouraging, but challenging. I like that. Yes. Teachable. Exactly. So it's not just the mentee that needs to learn. The mentor can actually learn from the mentee. Patient and inspiring. Yes. You need a mentor that will inspire you to shoot for more. Okay? Adaptable. Yes. So a mentor that is very flexible to the particular aspirations and goals of this particular or the particular mentee, because you see, a mentor might be mentoring more than one mentee, and every single mentee has different goals. Some want to work on their public speaking. Some are a lot more concerned about developing leadership goals. And when you even drill down where public speaking is concerned, some have different areas they want to work on. Some want to work on their grammar, some their vocabulary, some their ability to persuade. So you see, you need to be able to identify your mentee's unique goals and objectives so that you can use the platform of mentorship or the engine room of mentorship, or like I said earlier on, to use the refinery of mentorship to be able to deliver the goals and the objectives and the aspirations of the mentee. Ability to unravel potentials within, fantastic. I like that. Now, this brings me to a very interesting thought about the value of good and efficient mentorship. Now, ability to unravel potentials within requires a lot of patience. Now, I recall when we had a particular member of our club that used to stutter. Now, this is a case study of how the Toastmasters program can transform an individual. When she came on board, she used to stutter, and the club embraced her. Her mentor embraced her, and she was given the platform to express herself. She was allowed to play roles. She was allowed to give speeches. During the course of time, her stuttering began to reduce. Her ability in crafting out speeches improved. In fact, she started to take up leadership roles. And I think the last role I noticed that she played was to be the vice president education of the club, which is technically the number 2 person in the club at the ESCO level.
It's in my post.
That is what mentorship, good mentorship, can do for an individual. So I will move on from this now to now the essence of mentorship is the next slide after ideal mentor. Now, what's the essence of mentorship? I mean, seeing that is actually at the heart of our theme for today, what's the essence? The essence really is, number 1, to achieve goals. Number 2, the total transformation of the speaker or the member of the club. We can see that quote there. It says, "One repays a teacher badly if one remains only a pupil." So the goal behind a mentor's dream and aspiration for his mentee, and I dare say the vision of the mentee too, will be, number 1, to achieve his or her goals. Now, in the process of achieving those goals, that person will be transformed. Now, in the context of a club, there are lots of goals that are before us. Number one, the member of the club who is possibly a mentee will most likely have his or her goals. The mentor too, who is also a member, will have his or her goals. The club, as a club, will have their goals. The division will have goals. The district will also have goals. Now, through the platform of mentorship, all of these goals can be executed speedily and efficiently. So the club wants to achieve all her DCP goals, and she's going to achieve those goals through the members, ensuring that the members are giving their speeches. For members to give their speeches, they have to have a mentor that is committed. They have to have a mentorship program that is efficient and reliable. And I'll dwell a bit here around the mentorship program. If peradventure you are in a club that doesn't have a very robust mentorship program, you might come into the club and you don't have anybody approach you to be your mentor. You don't have a system where a mentor is assigned to you. There will be a problem. But a properly run club will have what we call a mentorship committee, whereby they have seasoned and experienced Toastmasters that are in that committee. And they have all the new members and all the members that don't have mentors. They now begin to pair those members with the right mentor. In some clubs, they can allow the members to choose, because the members have been in the club, maybe they've attended once or twice, and then they've seen this particular experienced members participate and carry out one role or the other, and they might say, oh, I want that particular person to mentor me. And the mentorship committee will establish that relationship. So if you have a club today and you don't have a mentorship committee, which is just big English for saying a system whereby mentors are assigned to mentees, or mentees are placed under particular mentors, you need to start one almost immediately. Because that way, the leadership funnel of your club is being renewed and revitalized. In my opinion, the Toastmasters system is arguably one of the finest systems around succession planning. And the reason why it's one of the finest systems around succession planning is because we lay a lot of emphasis on mentorship, which is grooming people for leadership. Because you see, as we groom you on being able to communicate better, we're actually grooming you for leadership. So you see, that system in the Toastmasters International is one of the finest. As long as we stay with the program, we will recognize that we always have leaders in the pool. So if you don't have a mentorship committee today, this is the time to set up one. Begin to identify the experienced members in your club and locate members that don't have mentors and assign those mentees to those mentors, so that every time your leadership funnel is filled with trained, competent speakers and competent leaders. That way, you are going to achieve your educational goals, you achieve your leadership goals, you achieve even your membership goals, because you see, the members that you have assigned to a mentor, they will have somebody that they listen to, somebody that they aspire to, and that person can influence them, because at the heart of leadership is influence. If you have a leader that no one is following, that person is just taking a walk. He's not a leader. And it's through the mentorship program, the mentorship platform, that we grow, develop, cultivate leaders. You can talk to them through their mentors about their dues. You can talk to them through their mentors about participating in speech contests. You tell a mentee that I need you to prepare for a speech contest. What do you think? He's hesitant, he's apprehensive. And then you tell the person, you tell the mentee that I'm going to walk with you through from the beginning till the end of that particular speech contest. The person is a lot more relaxed. And when you say you walk with the person, you stay committed, because the ability for you to draw followership is tied to your commitment and your sacrifice as a mentor. If you don't sacrifice the time, you don't sacrifice the knowledge, you don't sacrifice possibly finances, you will not be able to grow mentees. I remember vividly back in the days before the pandemic, a couple of my mentees, I took them out for a session. We had an out of office session whereby we just sat down and we talked about all that we had achieved for the year. And I need to add this. It comes to a point where you grow that relationship, and you can even talk about career goals. You can begin to influence and help your mentees with their career aspirations. Because think about it, at a particular point in time in our individual careers, it is no longer the technical skills that matter, but our soft skills, our ability to communicate, our ability to influence, our ability to lead. And the Toastmasters platform helps all of these soft skills. So as a mentor, you begin to influence the careers of your mentees. And I tell you, you have individuals that you can move to the next level of leadership, that can help you start up a new club, that can help you solidify and build the capacity of your existing club. So that is achievement of goals through the mentorship platform. So you see, that's the essence of mentorship. So today, we shouldn't have a Toastmaster that is experienced, qualified, and it doesn't have mentees. Then we shouldn't have the greenhorns, the rookies, sitting down and thinking that they don't need a mentor. You might get to the promised land, but it will take you a longer time without a mentor. With a mentor, what that means is you have a ladder to climb to your desired destination. And the second point here, transformation. For me, this is the icing on the cake. When an individual transforms, you see a raw material, rough at the edges when he came in as a new member. And then 1 year, 2 years down the line as a member of your club, through mentorship, that person becomes a polished, refined, and eloquent speaker that brings joy to any mentor's heart. And that is the gratitude that the mentor receives. Now, let's look at some mentoring checklists. The first one here says clarify expectations. You agree with me that even in our places of work, when you're setting the goals for the year, and you sit with your staff, those of you that are managers or supervisors in your respective organizations, you agree with me that when you sit with your staff, one of the things you do is to set the goals and the key performance indicators, the KPI, with your staff. You don't set it in isolation. So you set it with your staff. Sorry. You set it with your staff, and you ensure that you get the buy-in of your staff concerning the expectations. So that is very key. Ensure that the expectations from the mentee is clear, the expectations from the mentor is clear. How would you like for me to help you with your speeches? Would you like for me to look at them before you deliver them? Will you want them for me to record them on a voice recorder? Will you want me to write them out? You need to have those clarify those expectations. You need to ask the mentee, what do you want to work on? She wants to work on her pronunciation. She wants to work on her ability to give the speech with power. Just clarify expectations prior to the engagement. And then the second checklist will be available. As a mentor and as a mentee, you need to be available. Today we have social media, we have WhatsApp, we have the email, we have different means of communication. So try to be available. And something I must say here is, as a mentor, sometimes you might need to be the one that will make the first move, because sometimes mentees don't want to come across as being burdensome or being pushy. So you as the mentor, you need to be able to reach out to your mentee and ask your mentee, it's been 4 weeks. We've had 2 meetings in the club. You've not given a speech. What's happening? You've not played a role. So be available. Check in often. You have to check in regularly, find out what's happening. I mean, even with the hybrid system we're all running today, work from home sometimes, go to work sometimes, it's pretty stressful for a lot of people. So once in a while, check in. See how your mentee is doing. So because the relationship needs to come to a place where it's not just about the speeches, because you see, the well-being of the person is also very important. So you check in often. And then mentees also checking on your mentors. Number 4, encourage goal setting. This is very crucial. One of the ways of achieving your goals as a speaker or as a leader or as an individual is actually to set a goal with a deadline. If you keep your goals open-ended, you might stay on that goal, a goal that you're supposed to execute in a year, you might use 2 years to execute. So you need to set a goal with a deadline. Set a goal of participation in the district. I want to be involved with the district speech contest. Get involved. Volunteer. Remember that all we do in Toastmasters is actually we volunteer. We came in as volunteers. We are volunteers anyway. None of us gets paid for what we do here. So volunteer for more roles as is within your capacity, because we grow by serving. We improve our capacity by serving. So we grow by serving. Like somebody said, leadership is not about the title. It's about how much are you serving? What kind of impact are you making in the lives of people? Today, one of my biggest joys is seeing my mentees in leadership roles, using the skill set that they have developed or they have been able to work on in Toastmasters, taking it to their business environment, taking it to their political meetings, taking it to their churches, using it to lead, using it as a fulcrum, as a platform to achieve their broader goals. So ensure that you are setting goals. You can be a DTM. It's doable. You can lead that community center or that community project in your church, in your mosque, in your community, whatever it is. That's the purpose. The moment knowledge is not used, it's useless. If all you have is just in your head and you don't put it to use, you don't check out how you've improved by taking up more goals, you can't really know how far you can go. So goal setting is critical in your quest for becoming a competent speaker and an inspiring leader. The next one there is be patient. It's become a very famous maxim that patience is a virtue. Why is patience important? Patience is important because your mentees might be at different times of their lives. You find a mentee that is maybe the very moment he or she came into the club, was so excited about giving speeches. And then after a while, you can't find that person anymore. No longer attending meetings, no longer giving speeches. Your responsibility is to be patient with that person and not to be in a hurry to judge that that person is not committed or that person doesn't have an ambition of being a professional speaker or a competent speaker. Your responsibility is to be patient, to interrogate, to spend time to be an active listener so that you can decipher what exactly the issues are with this person and then help the person to go around that obstacle and come back to that place where it begins to give the speeches, participate in the leadership roles again. Number 6, be positive. And this is one of our mantras as Toastmasters. We have to be positive. And we learned that from our evaluation. First, you give a praise, then you give a mild critic or a mild criticism, and then you give a praise again. And the criticism must be positive because you're giving it so that the person can improve. You're stating an area of improvement. So you need to be positive because your mentees might not always give spectacular speeches. And the true test of a mentor is not one that will just look out for only good speakers in the club and bring them to his or her side and say, oh, I want you to be my mentee. You've noticed that that person is a good speaker. And then you leave all the other speakers that are still coming up in their journey to themselves or to situations where they don't get quality and valuable mentorship. I challenge mentors. Look out for speakers that are possibly just coming up in their journey and make it your goal that they will come up to your level. Because the joy of a true mentor is that the mentee becomes better than you. That is the joy. Because what will happen is the mentee will take all that you have given to him or her and add some more flavors to it. So you need to be positive. You need to encourage everybody. Pull the entire team together. Let no one be left behind, just like the American Navy SEALs. No soldier should be left behind. Be positive in your meetings. Be positive in your mentorship. Be positive in your evaluations. Number 7, be kind. And I'm going to dwell a bit here. Be kind. There was a particular Toastmaster that I met in one of the clubs when I was an area director. And this Toastmaster was very unkind with the way words came out from that particular Toastmasters as it concerns the speeches that the members were given in the club. This particular Toastmaster was always spending 80% of the time highlighting all the negative things that the members did. And this made a lot of members to leave the club. So as a mentor, you need to be kind. You need to create an atmosphere of love and compassion and empathy. An atmosphere that is welcoming. An atmosphere of fun. As they are learning, there is fun in the learning. So be kind as a mentor. Number 8, try not to push too much. Don't push the members too much. There has to be that balance. In as much as you're going to give stretch goals to your mentees, you need to be able to draw the line between the stretch goals and you being pushy. Just like you draw the line between being confident and being arrogant. It's a thin line. You need to find that line. Find that line of balance where you are giving stretch goals that the mentee is in agreement with, and you're not pushing the mentee too much, because some mentors have pushed their mentees outside of the Toastmasters journey. And that is sad. Now, I'll leave you with this quote by Leo Toes that states that if you must lead anybody, you have to walk alongside the person. So the mentor is not in a master-slave relationship with the mentee. No. It's not in a master-slave relationship. It's actually a relationship of kindred spirits. One experienced and one that is a greenhorn. And together, they are exchanging capabilities, exchanging insight, exchanging learnings. As you give the mentee wisdom, the mentee is giving you curiosity. As you give the mentee knowledge and perspective, the mentee is giving you relevance and gratitude, and thereby you are building a Toastmaster experience that is mutually beneficial to both of you. Well, thank you. I'll take questions at this time, if there are any questions.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Matthew Omaka. Thank you so much for the session. Please, if you have questions, now is the time.
Okay, I can see Craig. I can see Craig's hand was raised. Do you have a question, please?
All right. Distinguished Toastmaster Matthew, can you hear me loud and clear, sir?
Loud and clear.
I would like to thank you most splendiferously for your perceptive presentation. I was intrigued by three things while you were delivering your presentation with Olympian eloquence. One, you metaphorically described the mentor-mentee relationship first as a refinery, second as a two-way street where there is an exchange, a give and take between the mentor and the protege. You equally rationalized that mark of success in it is that the relationship is not a dictatorship. I was intrigued in every respect by these statements. My question is centered around providing speech evaluation to your protege. And you rationalize with unparalleled eloquence that you've got to use or utilize the commend, recommend, and commend technique. Now, you mentioned that the mentor has to provide the protege with mild criticism. You used the adjective mild criticism, and you said the mentor has to be positive in providing this mild criticism. Can you give some tips in regard to how to provide mild criticism to a protege or mentee?
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Craig, for that question. What I would say around the areas of mild criticism is to focus on the technicalities of the speech as against the person. So for example, you could say, I think that you need to improve more on the way you use your pauses. Or you could say, I think you need to take out time to expand your reading range so that your vocabulary can be expanded. That's what I mean by giving mild criticism, so that it's more about the technicality of the speech, where the speaker begins to see a correlation in her growth, if that is done, as against the person. So you need to be able to draw the line between the person and the technicalities of the speech. If you focus in that regard, you will find out that you will be able to give more effective evaluation. So in the place where you are now commending, you can now focus more on the person. You can talk about how the person smiles or how the softness of her voice. So that helps you to kind of like nourish the speaker and motivate the speaker for her or his next speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DTM Matthew Omaka. Thank you for always being there whenever we reach out. I recall not reaching out early for this training, but I'm really, really glad you're still able to make it. Thank you so much for that. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yeah.
Okay. So over the past 2 days, we've discussed extensively about mentorship in Toastmasters. We've learned quite a lot of things. I'll just, for the next 5 minutes, give a rundown of some of the major ideas we covered in day 1 and in day 2 as well. So we've talked about what is a mentor. We said a mentor takes a personal interest and helps the mentee, someone who takes personal interest and helps the mentee. We also mentioned that a mentor serves as a role model, a coach, and a confidant for the mentee. Offers knowledge, insight, perspective, and wisdom. A mentor is someone who helps someone else to become successful. So to ease the process of transition between mentor-mentee, the relationship and so on, you need to learn the program, you need to learn club standards and customs, you need to learn to develop confidence, be willing to want to develop your confidence and participate more when your mentor gives an assignment or your mentor says, oh, submit your script, do this project, send a voice note or send a video note, a video recording. You have to participate more and you have to be willing to quickly learn the speaking skills. So to develop your speaking skills, you need to reach out to more experienced members as well. They can serve as your somewhat unassigned mentors. They would help you to further refine your skills. We also learned that you can also learn new skills from more experienced members as well. As for mentors, we learned today that mentors too can benefit from mentees. You can learn from your mentees. You can become better mentors by mentoring people more. Becoming a mentor helps you remain productive in the whole Toastmasters process and beyond. It helps you to be able to do something for others. You're doing something for others by teaching them, preparing them, and what have you. You also receive recognition for being a mentor as well. So it's been really interesting. The club also gets more members. When you mentor well, more members will notice your mentee and then, oh, I learned about Toastmasters. Please, can I join? Oh, I like the way you speak. Who trained you? How did you get your training? And they, my mentor from so Toastmasters Club. And then you get more members there. Not just more members, but more satisfied members because they are getting the benefits of what Toastmasters membership offers. Then higher member retention rate. Members would want to stay at your club. They would want to renew because they are getting what they paid for, because mentors are actually working. So thus, the reason for us having this training is not just to assign mentors to mentees as well, but also at the long run to benefit the clubs as well. So clubs can retain membership. So we also talked about qualities of a mentor. A mentor has to be available. You have to be available for your mentees. You have to be patient with them. Some mentees take shorter period to grasp. Others will take a longer period to understand things, for changes to show an effect on them. So you have to be patient with them through the process. You have to be sensitive as well. Some mentees you have to be sensitive to their styles, their patterns, and so many other things as well. You have to be respectful, give them the space, respect them as much as they respect you as well. Be flexible enough to don't always be so rigid as we must always meet physically. If for any reason you can't meet physically, maybe the member is out of town or you're busy or whatever, be flexible enough to say, you know what, let's do this via Zoom, or send me a voice note instead. And then depending on the level at which the mentee is, a mentor needs to be supportive, being knowledgeable about the whole Toastmasters program and beyond. Be confident in yourself and in your mentee that they can do the things, the roles assigned to them as well. Be a good listener. Listen. It's not just about communication, but listen as well, and then show concern for others. We also talked about some steps in mentoring. This is in no particular order relating to the speech. We just had this way. So you sit with the new member, orient the new member on club customs and procedures. Explain to the prospective member how to sign up. So here we learned that being a mentor starts even from before the member even makes payment. For as long as they are a guest at any Toastmasters club, your mentorship experience exposure starts from there. So explain to them how to sign up. Do not always leave that duty to the vice president membership. You too, as a would-be mentor, can take that up. You see, first time I approached them, I remember Toastmaster Oluwato Ibolajoko. One of the conversations I had with her before she became a member of Ikeja Toastmasters Club was telling her how to sign up and what have you. And I told her, look, if you sign up within the next week, I will be your mentor. Well, yeah. Then before I knew it, 2 days later, she made payment. And so the whole mentorship process starts from when the member is a guest of a Toastmasters Club and beyond. So help them with the icebreaker speech as well. Make mentees aware of the resources available to them at Toastmasters.org, club level, evaluators. Tell them all the things and the benefits they have, all the resources they will have as joining Toastmasters. Always be there, be available to provide positive feedback. explain responsibilities they have as Toastmasters. As Toastmasters, we have responsibilities. Toastmasters is not just about communication, but leadership as well. You have to be a Toastmaster. By being a Toastmaster, you have to show it, you have to live it, you have to not just speak it, but lead it as well. So help with speeches and other assignments that may be assigned to your mentees as well, in terms of club roles, duties, organizing events, it's a change of guard, participating in speech contests, and what have you. Now, over time at the end, you have to tell your mentees how you've benefited from Toastmasters. Let them tell you as well over time how they have benefited from Toastmasters. Feel free to invite your mentees to other events. I invited my mentees to my birthday party. Sadly, only 3 of them showed up, but it's all good. I had half pot of rice left over for myself only. Nonetheless, invite them to other events, hang out, have fun, really get to know them well, and that would definitely help the process of mentoring. Acknowledge progress. If you see them do, oh wow, a couple of months ago you were not so great with your body language, but now see you being so free and the like. That's really good, really, really good. So acknowledge progress when you see it. Explain club officers' duties to them. Remember, being a mentor is not just about preparing them for speeches, but also leadership responsibilities as well. So explain officers' duties to them, explain speech contests to them, let them participate in speech contests, represent the club, hopefully win, represent the area level, division, and whatever. Who knows, someday your mentee could win the international speech contest. But in a nutshell, it's not just always about winning speech contests, but just let them participate in speech contests. If they fail, at least there's always a lesson to learn, even in failure. So describe the whole organization of Toastmasters to them, the hierarchy, goals they have to meet, how to achieve a DTM if that is their goal, whatever it is, describe the organization of Toastmasters to them. So your mentee, as a mentee, you have to be eager to learn, be receptive, and open to new ideas, quite similar, being receptive and open to new ideas. Be loyal, be really, really loyal. They've explained all of this during the sessions we've had. Be grateful to your mentees as well. You may not be able to send cake to your mentors, or being grateful could be sending a text message over or calling and say, oh, thank you so much for what you're doing and so on. Last week, Saturday, a mentee of mine sent me a message, I love you, mentor. And I laughed because it was coming from a man. But then I got the message. He participated at a speech contest and he won. And he just came online and just sent me a message, I love you, mentor, and the likes, and that was really good. So be grateful, show that gratefulness. So lastly, this is very important. They didn't actually state it this way, but I felt this way is better. How Toastmasters presented it. It's a finite relationship, the whole mentor-mentee relationship thing. It gets to a stage where you become so good that you don't always have to take your speech to your mentor. That's majorly what this is explaining. It gets to a stage where your mentor might still be your mentor, but your major responsibilities will now be to prepare other people as well. I can't recall the last time I sent a speech to my mentor. Now I have so many other people that I just checked. Some of my mentees are here, Toastmaster Shukro, Toastmaster Alumide. My mentees are the ones who check my speeches now, and not even my mentor again. I feel I've so set targets over a period of time, say in the next 6 months, I want to be like my mentor. And if in 6 months you achieve it, set higher targets, and then, before you know it, you'll be way even better than so many other persons around. So in conclusion, what we've done over the past 48 hours on this training, the 2 days of this training, is to show us or tell us about the experience Toastmasters mentorship will offer. We've learned about it, and then we've talked about the benefits there is as well. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, at this point, we will reach out to your club executives. We will have them assign new persons to mentor new members or some existing members who are struggling for you to mentor and get to work with. Myself and my PQD2, Toastmaster Abubakar Gimba, who luckily is here, would monitor this process. We need to start taking up mentorship responsibilities. You don't have to be great at the beginning. You will get it eventually. Reach out to me, reach out to some of our facilitators today, reach out to the division director. We will work with you to ensure your mentorship experience, your mentorship journey would go well. So please, 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 when you're being approached by your club executive, when you're being assigned members to mentor, please do not turn it down. I know it will be challenging at first. You say, oh, this and that, but give it a try. And before you know it, you'll really, really enjoy it. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, our next program for the division will happen next week, Saturday. It's a division debate. between 4 divisions, Division F, A, K, and J. We've done the pairing already. Please watch out for more information about this via our community group where we'll share more details. It will be very interesting. I'll show you that 4 divisions trying it out. Now, just a sneak peek as to why you should always trust us to give you more programs. We're having a movie night, not this month, calm down, maybe next month or maybe a month after that, but it's something we're working on where we Toastmasters will gather and watch movies, hopefully for free. We'll just gather somewhere and just have fun. The whole thing is, we all seem so tense and whatever, so we'd have fun, we'd have balls, would really get to know a lot about each other. So please be patient with us, trust the process. We're sorry we're always coming up with programs. We're sorry this administration has been very busy. Should we be apologizing for being very busy? Nonetheless, thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate your patience with us. Please always trust us and please continue to be patient with us. See you all again on Saturday. The mentorship group will remain open for now until further notice. You can always share whatever comments, suggestions you have on that group. Thank you all so much for being here. The meeting will end now. Comments, suggestions, observations, please drop it via the group. It's exactly 6 p.m. and we want to continue our culture of always being punctual with our meetings. Thank you all so much for being here. You can say your goodbyes now. The meeting will end in exactly a minute. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the training.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the training.
Thank you.